everybody? It's your boy Pitts Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live. Listen, it's going down all things HBCUs. And who else better to start it off with them Bowie State Bulldogs? We coming to you, Bowie State Bulldogs, total access. We got the Morgan State Bears. Listen, all HBCUs information, all HBCU news, sporting events, updates. You get it live here with Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Comcast Channel 77, Verizon Channel 11 is going down. Don't you miss a beat. Listen, it's only the beginning because it's early still.
And it's
we're gonna be here all day.
All day.
What's going on, everybody, man? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you yet again. It's game day. Robert Morris University versus St. Francis. And y'all already know I got my guest, the best, the greatest, the eye of the tiger, a.k.a. Coach Bernard Clark Jr. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. Appreciate the intro more. The kind words always help, baby. Kind words always help.
I mean, listen, it is who you are. So, so definitely got to, I appreciate, as we have said over time and time again, the appreciation is mutual. And it's funny. So yesterday I finally got my guy Apollo on.
Oh yeah, man. I gotta go back. I gotta go check it out, man. I saw it post. I'm gonna go back and check it out. My man Creed. My man Apollo Creed, baby. Creed.
It's game day, Coach.
Oh, ain't no doubt. It's definitely
St. Francis. How you feeling today? How was the rest of the practice from when we last spoke on Wednesday?
The thing is like, practice has been trying because we're trying to make sure we're doing the right thing in practice. We're practicing with a purpose. It's one thing to get through practice, but it's also when you're trying to practice with a purpose and make sure things are being done correctly. So you're making those corrections now. You're not making those corrections when game day comes. So practice got better. After Wednesday, wasn't really happy with practice, but got back and watched it. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was, and had a better practice yesterday. Had a good walkthrough. A better practice Thursday, had a good walkthrough yesterday. So I think the guys are polished. They're ready to go. Again, it goes down to, it is not about the fact that we're not playing physical. It's not about the fact we're not playing hard. It's not about the fact we have no energy. We're not playing smart. And that's the thing that's important this week. We made an emphasis on playing smart and not just playing hard.
Going with our wild, learning to play smart, matching that mental and that physical ability.
Mm-hmm.
How has Zach looked? How's his ribs looking? How's he looking? I'm sure today's probably a game time decision.
Yeah, he's good. The great thing about him going through the week, you can see him loosening up. You can see you see him maybe to make those throws he wasn't able to make, last week. You see him able to do those things. Don't want to run it. They got to be smart about him running the ball. I tell people all the time, man, it took me a while because I'm such a defensive guy. It took me a while to admit that no position is more important than the quarterback. No position is more important than the quarterback. You look around the NFL right now and guys who have banged up quarterbacks, guys who don't have their starting quarterbacks, and look at how the teams are doing. The quarterback is the most important position on the football field. And the thing is, the reason why is it's simple. You can have an offensive lineman. He might be able to play with a strained hamstring. But a quarterback can't play with a strained hamstring. A quarterback can't play with a bum thumb. A quarterback can't play with bad ribs. Things that other guys can play with and get past, it's one of the situations where a quarterback can't get through those things. So that's why it's the most important position on the football field. Again, it took me a while to admit that because I'm such a defensive guy, but it's extremely important.
Not only that, they're definitely the glue. That's why 9 times out of 10, the quarterback is the captain. When you talk about overall team, talking about an individual who has the ball 100% of the time in his hands.
Yep.
With the game on the line or whatever game situational awareness is. But it's great to hear that Zach is definitely loosening up coming into conference play. Listen, man, I'm excited to see and hear how the running back committee is going and how the offensive line holds up. Especially from our wild learn, right? Learn was our wild, though it was our word of the week. And as you said, learning to from start to finish, learning to, minimize the mistakes, learning to, not take shortcuts, in game, whether it's a receiver on his routes or if it's a DB in his drop back step, whatever the situation is. Learning to really just play every down as if it's the last down.
Exactly, and that's why it's the wild, like you said, and learning to understand that we have to play complementary football. I heard Mike Tomlin say it all the time, and it's so true, man. You got to understand when the defense makes a great play, a turnover, whatever, the offense has to capitalize on that. You get a great punt, you get a great kick. We got to make sure we can down it inside the 5 yard line. Those things become so crucial. We got to play complementary football, and if we get an opportunity to have them backed up, we got to make sure they're punting it out of there. We can't give them light. Got to make sure they're giving us great field position. So we got to play complementary football, and learning how to do that is extremely important. So we're still learning this week. Did a great job of learning and getting some things where they need to be at, and I feel good. But it's one of those things I always tell people, man, I don't play the game anymore. This game is played by the players. This is a player's game, and what it boils down to, a coach can sit up and say, "Oh, we're going to do this." Man, what the bottom line is, they have to execute. Those guys have to execute the plan that we have. And so it's one to say, am I ready? Absolutely. I'm ready every week. I'm ready to go ahead, but my 58-year-old body ain't getting out there and hitting nobody or tackling anyone. So I got to make sure our guys are on the right mental aspect of what's going on. We have to make the game plan something that they can handle and something they can grow with, and something they can execute. So that's what it boils down to, effort and execution, like we talk about all the time, Pitts.
We say I'd rather you go 100% wrong than go half percent right.
Absolutely.
So, what's the message to the team this morning before y'all take the field against St. Francis?
Well, the big thing is exactly what we talked about, making sure what we did this week in practice, we applied in the game. We got to understand, we got to take it from drills, we got to take it from team and practice and apply it to the game on Saturdays. And so that's the thing that's really important. The things that we grew with this week, and the thing that help us grow, we got to make sure we're applying those things on the football field. So that's the message to them. But again, it's always going to be fast, physical finish. You want to make sure we start out fast. And I'm talking about fast when it comes to kickoff, return, or if it comes to kickoff. We're kicking the ball off. Hey, let's kick it in the end zone and make them start at the 25. Let's try to go 3 and out. Let's try to get a turnover. If we get the ball kicked off to us, hey, let's try to take it to the house on kickoff return. Or as soon as the offense gets it, let's push it down the field and let's get points on the board. So we got to start fast, and we got to be physical. Always know that we're on the field. Let other guys know that you're on the field. Make them remember your name. Make sure you're running through them every chance you get, regardless of your offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Make sure you're trying to punish people when you're on that football field, because and I know, Pitch, this is organized violence. That's what this is. It's organized violence. And last but not least, we got to finish. Regardless of what the score is, we got to make sure we're finished. If we're down, hey, we got to make sure we get back on top and finish strong. If we're up, we got to make sure we're finishing strong and don't take our foot off the throat. So, again, what it boils down to, I just want these guys to be fast, physical, and finish. Because I'm not out there. That's what it boils down. It drives me crazy sometimes when I'm not out there, because you want to be able to make those hits. But I also look at the fact that I can't believe I used to do this. Throwing my body on the ground and running into another human being. But, man, the excitement of game day is just it's something you can't even explain unless you've been on the field. It's one of those situations where on game day you're so excited about what's going on. And then college, man, just college football, the atmosphere of college football.
It's electric.
It's college football. It's just, like I said, it's unexplainable. It's one of those things you can't even explain it. You're so excited about what's going on game day. As a coach, you still get pumped. You still get excited. You still want to go, but you can't. So it's one of those things you want to make sure you're living vicariously through your guys. You're living through those guys. And so when they make a hard hit, or they make a great play, or they make a great block, you're like, so that's the great thing about it. So I want to live through these guys. I think we had a good week of practice. I just want them to execute and make sure they give great effort. But we got to be fast, physical, and we got to finish everything we're doing.
Coach said he want the FFPE, fast, finish, physical, and execute. When you talk about the electricity in the crowd, it's nothing more than when you're home and a big play happening, the crowd goes crazy, and you can feel it on the field. The hairs on your body stick up, or when you're playing away and you make a play and just taking the air out of the opposing team's home crowd is everything.
Absolutely. That's it. I probably love taking the air out of the opposing team crowd more than anything else, man. That's probably I'll tell you a crazy story right quick. I remember when I was at the University of Miami, man, we were playing against Michigan. It was 5 minutes left in the game. We were down 19-30. And I remember we kicked the onside kick and got that onside kick, man. You talking about the air went out 104,000. Man, it was electric in there for us. and all you saw was our little section of about 50 people just losing their mind when we got that onside kick, and then we turned that right into a touchdown. So, and we end up winning the game 31-30 with 5 minutes left. So that's what we're talking about. Exactly what you just said, man. When you can take the air out of the other team, their stands, and they just have nothing to root for anymore, there ain't a better feeling than that. There ain't a better feeling.
When you're on when you're game days, game mornings, everybody has their own ritual. Everybody has their own thing that gets them going. For me, it was the night before watching the program, or any given Sunday,
Okay.
or even Wildcats with Goldie Hawn,
Uh-huh.
right? Or the music that they listen to. How can you tell as a coach when your team is locked in and engaged prior to the game beginning?
I'll be honest with you, man. It's hard to tell nowadays, Pitch, because there's so much going on. They have their phones, they have everything. You don't know if they're looking at social media, or if they're listening to music. So it's so much going on now. You don't know. So the way I can tell is like right when I'm about to walk out on the field, right when we're about to walk out behind me. It all depends on how they feel at that moment. If I feel like they're ready to go, they're excited, we're going to have a good game. And it's not based on winning or losing. It's more about what effort are we about to get out of these guys? What kind of energy we're about to get out of these guys? And that gives me a better idea right before we're about to walk on the field, how crazy they're going. That's why last week was so weird, man. I felt so good about last week, just the excitement those guys had and the energy they had when they didn't walk on the field. So to lose that game was such a letdown because I thought those guys were so ready to go. So I'm hoping this week when we get ready to walk on that field, I get that same energy, we just have a better outcome.
Listen, opening kickoff sets the tone for a lot of things, whether
Always.
you're kicking off or you're returning. That is the game igniter to say this is what we about today.
Yeah.
This is the energy that we plan to bring 60 minutes in.
And the mindset you want to have to those guys who are on kickoff return is you're starting. Forget about offense and defense. If you're on kickoff and we got to go kick the ball off, you're starting. Right now, you're starting this game. You got to make sure you're starting with a great, positive, unbelievable effort and unbelievable attitude. And if you're on kickoff return and we return the ball, you're starting. Let's try to take this thing to the house. Make that first play be exciting and be electric. So you want to instill in those guys, you are a starter when you're on offense. When you're on kickoff return or you're on kickoff and you're up first. You got to understand you are a starter. You're the tempo that we're looking for. You're the example that we're looking for. So
yes, sir. And it's funny. I was telling my son the way that I knew, when my team was ready, prior to the game. One thing that I enjoyed, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't. When we played, on kick return, the opposing team was able to form what we used to call a wedge, and we always had that one person.
The wedge buster,
on kickoff, baby. That was the wedge buster. And that means he's going in there hella hot water, full speed. And I'm like a bowling pin trying to knock them all down. And that was the moment for me when I can tell, for me when it came to morale, especially if we're kicking off, is, what's the morale of the guys running downfield, especially when it comes to busting up the wedge. So I miss those days, man. I ain't gonna lie. I miss those the Bull in the Ring, the Oklahomas. I miss those days. I know they can't do them now, but I think those drills is what really defined me individually, because there is no backup. There is no one to save you. The spotlight is on you. You be damn or you don't. It's either or. You win or you lose.
That's it. There ain't no ins and outs on it. It's like, hey, you line up, I line up. Let's see what happens. And again, it goes back to what you said. That wedge buster, man. I was that wedge buster at certain points in my career. That wedge buster, you got to have to test the fortitude to get ready for that thing. It's one of them situations where you're going down there. It's like 3-4 guys. You got to be the guy to run right through the middle of them and break everything up so everybody else can make some things happen. So again, but it goes back to it's still exciting today when you think about it. Again, we can't do it anymore. But it's one of those things that gets you excited when it comes to the game of football. And I always tell people, and it's not a bad thing when I say this, but the game is organized violence. Yeah, you want to make sure everybody's safe and everything, but it's going to be violence. You got another human going as fast into another human being as fast as he can. And that's the excitement about game day. So that's where whenever we meet on game day and you and I are talking on days like this, that's why you hear the excitement in my voice, because I can't do it anymore. But all I'm thinking about is when I did do it, all I'm thinking about is our guys being able to do it and going out and crushing somebody and making this game exciting.
What's up? What we bumping in the locker room today? What's
I'm
our
gonna
music today?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Pitch, man. Like I told you, we're gonna try to hit it up early, but I did chapel. So my mind's been kind of more mellow, to be totally honest with you. Haven't really even listened to anything. I don't know what I'm gonna listen to on the bus. I may watch Sports Center because we're gonna drive down today as opposed to driving down last night. So
Okay.
it's one of those things where I'm kind of more mellowed out because again, and I'll tell you this, I'm so disappointed in the season right now, man, because we're not playing the way we're capable of playing. When I'm talking about that, I'm not talking about the effort and the energy.
Right.
I'm talking about the mental aspect that we're not playing sound college football. So it's disappointing. Yeah. So got more in the word this week, to be totally honest with you. One of my buddies told me to read Psalms 57. I read Psalms 57. Also, that was I did for Bible study this morning. I did that for chapel service for the guys. So I'm excited about that. So I'm probably gonna bump some Kirk later on. Some Kirk Franklin, you know that.
Hey,
Listen to a little bit of Kirk. Listen to
hey,
Pandora and go to Kirk Station.
Can't go wrong. Or go ahead and bump that Lecrae. You know, you still get your gospel mix up, but you get a little crunk with it.
or get a little gospel gangsters. You know how it is.
Yeah. Well, man, I appreciate it, Coach. You know, good luck today against St. Francis. Safe travels on the road. You know, let's go 1-0.
Ain't no doubt, man. Let's do what we need to do, man. Let's go and get our guys ready to go. Like you said, let's just go 1-0. Like I said before, me and you talk, we can't worry about trying to swallow this elephant whole. One bite at a time, man. Let's see if we can not get mad, but let's get even. And let's go, Bobby Mo.
It's game day. Robert Morris University takes on St. Francis. Y'all heard it here straight from Tiger himself, a.k.a. Coach Bernard Clark Jr., Robert Morris University head coach. Good luck today, Coach. Good luck, Colonials. It's a full day of college football. Let's get ready.
Take care, my man. Peace.
Peace.